Solfege? A sunblessed technique for stealing? Gabriel repeated, frowning. Is there really such a thing? Master Talon laughed from within the black jadeite. Exactly. Would you like me to teach you? Gabriel shook his head, feeling put off. No offense, Master Talon, but I have no interest in being a thief. There must be another way to obtain crystals. Very well then. I trust you will find your own way. Master Talon replied simply. Gabriel closed his eyes and drifted off to sleep just as the morning sun rose. Not a few hours later, Mistress Fay came knocking on the door of his quarters. Gabriel, wake up. You have a guest in the council room. Puzzled, Gabriel dressed and groggily made his way to the council room to find Headmaster Ashwin, clan head Inakis, and an unfamiliar old man dressed in academy robes gathered for tea. Rising with a smile, the old man greeted. You must be Gabriel. I am the Great Hall Master, Hans Zanders. Gabriel bowed politely in response. To what do I owe the honor, Master Zanders? I've come to personally invite you to the welcome banquet in 2 days' time, Hans explained. We host this ceremony to receive talents from all 360 states, inviting less than 100 honored guests each time. Understanding dawned on Gabriel as Headmaster Ashwin and Mistress Fay reacted with pleased smiles. Historically, the Southern Academy had never been included. For Gabriel to be invited now was a momentous occasion for the Academy, yet curiosity stirred in Gabriel. Am I the only one at our Academy who's been invited? He inquired. With a chuckle, the Great Hall Master confirmed. Indeed, just you. Gabriel's enthusiasm dimmed. He cared little for empty social pleasantries. Sensing this, Headmaster Ashwin interjected. This is a rare chance to befriend other top talents from different academies. It would serve you to attend, Gabriel. Noticing Gabriel's lingering reluctance and recalling his instructions from above, Hans quickly added, I can understand how attending a welcome banquet can be daunting. Of course, I am happy to extend the invitation to your fellow Academy mates. At this, the room stirred in surprise. 4 of their students at the welcome banquet? Such a thing was unheard of. That is kind of you, Master Zanders, Headmaster Ashwin said, pleased. The pleasure is mine, Hans said as he presented 4 wooden invitations for Gabriel's companions as well. We look forward to seeing you and your companions at the banquet, Hans proclaimed before bowing and taking his leave. After the Great Hall Master had gone, Headmaster Ashwin turned to Gabriel in astonishment. Are you connected with someone at the Academy headquarters? No, none at all, Gabriel said, shaking his head. In truth, he was equally baffled by the special treatment. Clan head Inakis laughed good-naturedly. Let's not look a gift horse in the eye, eh? This is a fortuitous occasion. I'm glad my Cade will be attending. Yes, I agree, Dean Solvang said. Looking at the 4 invitations in his hand, Gabriel smiled faintly. Attending the banquet alone would have been dull, but Inya's company would undoubtedly make the affairs more bearable. The extra invitations for Cade and Griffin were extraneous in his private opinion, but if it helped the Southern Academy's reputation, he wasn't going to comment on it. At their midday meal, Gabriel found Inya, Cade, and Griffin in the dining hall. He approached them and handed them each an invitation. Cade frowned as he read off the wooden card, his expression quickly turning incredulous as he processed the inscriptions. We've been invited to the welcome banquet? Gabriel nodded. The Great Hall Master just delivered them? He came personally to deliver them by hand? Griffin asked, bewildered. Inya tilted her head curiously. Do you know someone at the Academy headquarters? Gabriel shook his head. No, I have no idea why they're inviting us. Apparently only the top academies are invited. Gabriel pondered silently to himself. Had someone discovered his sword-wielding abilities? Cade exclaimed incredulously. Do you really not know the customs of the Decennium? Gabriel shrugged. Not really. I've never had to. Well, Cade said, conspiring, I have some new information about this year's tournament. Gabriel, Inya, and Griffin leaned in to hear what he had to say. What is it? Inya urged. The representatives from Jorvask and Ysera have arrived in the city. They headed straight for the Upper Academy. Gabriel's curiosity was piqued. How many from each state came? Just one named Zacharias Fall from Ysera, Cade conveyed. I don't know the strength of his abilities. Griffin's brows furrowed. Only one? Cade nodded gravely. I don't know what their strategy is. They could have sent him because there was no one else or out of pure confidence in his skills. Inya murmured. Likely the latter, considering Ysera's strength. Without a doubt, Cade agreed. They surely aim to challenge Jorvask's supremacy this time. And what about Jorvask? How many representatives did they send? Gabriel asked. They have 3 representatives, 2 men, 1 woman. I know only 2 names so far. Alishan Morton and Morris Everett, Cade answered. I'm not sure what the third's name is. Gabriel's brows knitted together. Whatever it is, they must be incredibly strong. The yearly struggle for Jorvask's 3 places is hellish. Only the most skilled fighters earn the right, Cade commented. Puzzled, Gabriel asked, just 3 spots? But we have 4. That's because the Southern Academy is ranked among the last, Griffin interjected. The top 10 academies are only allowed 3 representatives each, to make it fair for the other academies to have a chance at placing. Softly, Gabriel murmured, I wonder who the last person is. I suppose we'll find out at the tournament, Cade responded. It's so unusual for Ysera to only send 1, Inya bemused. Nodding, Cade replied, they must be plotting something big to challenge Jorvask's centuries of dominance. They've won the Decennium for centuries? Gabriel asked, astonished. Jorvask has been a generational powerhouse. After all, it's the Sword Immortal's birthplace, Griffin replied. They each reacted with awe and reverence at the mention of the legendary Sword Immortal. I guess we'll be able to get a good look at our biggest competition at the banquet, Gabriel commented. Cade's eyes lit up. Talking about the welcome banquet, there's more. The other 3 leaned in curiously. We talked about the top talents from Jorvask and Ysera attending the banquet. But do you know who else is going to be at the banquet? Cade continued. The other 3 shook their heads. Zahara Lee. Not only is she the youngest dean of all Academy history, but she's known to be the top beauty in all of the Upper Realm. He finished, laughing at his punchline. The 3 groaned, but Gabriel couldn't help but glance at Inya. What are you looking at me for? Inya said with a teasing lilt. Blushing, Gabriel remained silent. I suppose you can see if there's any truth in Cade's statement when we attend the banquet. Inya joked to Gabriel, who laughed softly in response. After joking around, Cade's expression turned serious. But in all seriousness, I think we'll have to keep an eye on the Solarian sect during the tournament. They'll target us without a doubt. Gabriel's gaze was steady. We'll deal with them when the time comes. Cade nodded and stood abruptly. All right, I'm off to train. Let's spar. Griffin suggested and stood to follow Cade to the training grounds. Now left alone, Gabriel looked to Inya. Are you going to be training too? Naturally, Inya smiled. Are you currently at the Phoenix Avatar level? Gabriel nodded. The Decennium is in 2 months. It would be good for you to strive for Astral Ascendant before then, she advised as she began to stand from her seat. Inwardly, Gabriel fully agreed. He knew the tournament this time would be fierce, with so many exceptional talents gathered. Though a budding swordsman, he was far from invincible among his peers, but he couldn't help but feel trapped. He desperately needed to train but was nearly out of crystals. The meager 2,000 gold crystals he had left would hardly suffice to help him level up. Asking Mistress Faye was unthinkable. His instructor was nearly as poor as himself. Perhaps Master Talon had been right about stealing. Noticing Gabriel's despondent expression, Inya asked, How many crystals do you have left? With a wry smile, Gabriel admitted, Only 2,000. That's hardly enough. Inya's brow creased as she hummed thoughtfully. Before Gabriel could respond, she suggested, Why not take a loan? Gabriel blinked in confusion. A loan? The Celestial Trading Emporium lends money, with interest of course, Inya explained. If I remember correctly, you could borrow 10,000 crystals and repay them 11,000 after a month. or borrow 100,000 crystals and repay them 130,000 after a month. Hearing this, Gabriel's expression grew incredulous. That interest is exorbitant. It's hardly worth it. Wait, then what other ideas do you have? Inya asked sharply, a little hurt at getting her suggestion rejected so harshly. Gabriel sent her an apologetic look. Does the Emporium accept trades instead? You intend to sell your cores? Inya asked, catching his train of thought. Gabriel nodded. He still had 2 demon cores just sitting idle in his possessions. The earth crystal vein he'd harvested from the southern mountain ranges was off limits, destined for the Yamato clan someday. But for now, trading the cores made sense. I'll sell my 2 cores as well, Inya offered, the cores Gabriel had gifted her still in her possession. Gabriel agreed readily. Shall we? Let's, Inya replied as she led the way to the upper city's celestial trading emporium.